friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm here with the project of 52 tags handmade, and this week is week number 8, and this is Brooke's challenge. And so we are doing the French knot, the bullion stitch, and the pistil stitch. So this, what you see before you, is they're mostly French knots. I thought maybe I've been working on this, and as you can see, there's a lot of, I think you can probably see there's a lot of stitches on here. So this took a while, so I didn't, want to do this all on video because it would be too long and too boring. But so, and I was experimenting and I had to learn the pistil stitch. I had not done that before, I don't believe, but I've done a lot of French knots, so it was kind of a reminder on that. And I was kind of experimenting on, you can, let me show you. I'm going to do a few scattered. See how I did scattered this is a rose. My base is a vintage, piece of a vintage sheet. It's got yellow roses and white kind of looking daisies and some green leaves. So on this rose right here, I scattered my French knots around between the leaves. So I was going to do the same thing on this one right here and then be done. And then I'll tell you what I did. But as far as the French knot goes, if you have not seen it before or need a reminder and haven't seen any of the other videos yet, and all you do is, I pulled my thread up. I have a knot on the end so it doesn't pull through. And then you can wrap it around. Anne was doing several stitches, like was it 6 or something like that? I've been doing 2 or 3. So, and I've been doing like tight knots, and see, these are tighter, and I've been doing these right here are pretty tight, so the knots look smaller. And then I've been doing looser knots, and then they're bigger and they look almost like little circles and things. And here's some more down here. I like these loose knots a lot. So up here, but I'm going to do some tight, I think I'm going to do some tight knots. Maybe I should do loose ones. I've got a lot of loose ones though, so I think I'm going to do tight ones up here if I can. The tight knots are a little, I don't know, they're a little harder. It's easier to just do a loose knot, but I just, for those, I just am, wrapped it around twice, and then you poke it down back through your fabric right beside where you pulled it up through the fabric. And just watch your thread so it doesn't get tangled up. And yeah, that's pretty tight. So we'll just do a few more, and then we'll put this tag together. So I'm just scattering it around here like I did. I did 6 knots on that rose. So let's do 6 here. Well, I'll see how many I need. I mean, I might not even need 6, because this is a little bit of a smaller flower here. But yeah, it was nice to have a reminder of the French knot and how much I really, since it's such an easy stitch, and I think it's probably a basic embroidery stitch really. It was fun to do it again, since I, had done it before. And I did a lot of French knots when I used to do, a long time ago, I used to do candle wicking. I know I mentioned that before in one of my other tag videos, the 52 tag videos. But yeah, if you've ever done French candle wicking, it's a lot of French knots. So, and I enjoyed that. I made, things with those. So let's see, this might be the last one here. Let's see how it looks when we get done. We did only 4 stitches. I might have to do one more just to have an uneven number. We'll see if there's a place to put one more. Maybe, it's really like the perfect number right there. Maybe one more over here by the rickrack. I made my base before. I wanted to see what else I could put on here besides the stitching, since this is a piece of sheet and I want it to be like a pretty tag when I'm done. I put this rickrack here on the side, a little white baby rickrack, and I put a lace tab on the top right here. Vintage lace, and on the bottom it's the same lace. Okay, so I think we're going to call that done. I've got a mess on the back because I just kind of got some things tangled up. So don't look at my back. But I got a plan. I got a plan for that. I've already resolved that. How I'm going to put it. I mean, I could put it down like this and it would be probably be fine. But, you know, also I'm going to glue it down like I have been doing, but I'm also going to sew around the edges with my sewing machine. So it's all right. I can do what I want, right? We can break the rules. It's all right. So here's my base. I coffee dyed and Rit dyed a bunch of my scrap file folder this week. And so this is a piece I decided I want the grungy coffee side on the back. So you can, I mean, you could write on either side, but just pink really doesn't go with this. So I'm going to put that down on the pink side, but I cut out a little piece of kind of like batting. This I had put in my fabric stash because I'll tell you what it is. I have it right here. I'm going to show you. But I won't make you guess. I'll tell you what it is. This is the little tree skirt that I had one year for, you can almost see a little bit of glitter in there. Maybe I can see it on camera, but it wasn't a real glittery one or anything. It was just a little, you know, those little white tree skirts you can buy that look like snow. That's what that was. But I like used it one year for something and then I wasn't using it anymore, so I put it in here in my fabric stash. So I'm going to use that because I have all this mess on the back here of my tag. I thought maybe it could use a little padding. It's not very much, but so I'm going to glue these 2 layers down. Well, so let's see how we do. I think it'll be all right, and then I'll get it nice and flat. It'll give me a little padding for all my craziness on the back of that tag, and then, like I said, I am going to sew it down around the edges. I haven't done that with any of my other tags. I've just been gluing them down, but this is large. This is a large tag. I wanted to make a large one with a piece of my sheet there, so I would have plenty of flowers to work with, basically. And so let's see how we do with this. So we're gluing down this, what I'm calling, it's not really batting, but I'm calling it batting here. Maybe we can call it padding. Using my Fabri-Tac. Okay. So yeah, that feels like it's going down nicely. So that'll give me a little padding from my crazy stitching on the back there and tangles and stuff. So I'm going to put some more on here for this. And this is going to cover this completely. So I can put my glue right up to the edge. So let's do that. Get this all nice and glued down. Even though I'm going to sew it, I want it to be, I don't really even have to sew it. We'll see how it looks. I was thinking, well, I just kind of wanted to sew, you know. I like to sew around the edges of tags a lot of times, just in my paper crafting. So, you know, like I said, I haven't sewn on any of these tags for the 52 tags challenge, but, you know, I kind of would really like to sew on this one since it's a big one, and I think it would look nice around the edges to have some kind of zigzag stitching maybe around the outside here. So we'll see. We'll see if I do that. I'm trying to see if I have enough. I think I have enough on there. Let me see. Let me look at it real good. Because I want it to be glued down all over. So let me get a little bit more on here. Because I want it to be nice and flat. Because I'm not sewing, you know, with my sewing machine in the middle, of course. So this needs to be, this is kind of hard to get the glue on this, actually. From what I can see, it's hard, you know. But I think I've got a lot of glue on there. I'm trying to see, is it actually coming out? I think it is. It's just hard to see on this white. Okay. I never did this before, so. First time gluing down batting on a or a padding on a tag. So let me get it lined up here. I wanted this lace to be sticking out of the bottom and everything to be over the edges here, and then this to be over the top. Okay, I think I got it nice and stretched out. Let's flatten it out. Let's see how it feels with all my lumps and bumps under there. I think it's good. It's all right. Yes. I think it's going to be fine. See how flat it looks? You would never know I have a bunch of like tangles and stuff under there. Okay, yep. that did the trick. Okay, so I just need to flatten this out with my fingers so that I don't, you know, there's not like I can take anything else and rub over my stitches, right? So I'm just going to kind of run over everything with my fingers. And then I will sew this on my sewing machine and show you how it looks next week. But let me just tell you, before I go, a little bit about the other flowers. We just did this one here with the little scattered, and this is scattered knots. This is knots in a circle. And here, see, these are the pistil stitches on the little leaves. This was a flower. Was that a flower? That was a flower that I did a little kind of, or was that a leaf? I think that was a leaf that I did French knots on. Where's the flower? I guess these are leaves here. Now that they're covered up, I can't even see what they are. But these are green leaves. This was the flower I did a little green in the middle. I wanted to see what that looked like with the green in the middle instead of the yellow. So that was, yeah, that's what I was trying to say that was, but that was just a leaf. Then I did a little green circle on this one. It's like a kind of like a daisy there. This daisy I did the pistil stitches, you know, and I put the knot on the outside here. This I did French knots all on the outside of the leaves and on just around a little bit around the center. And you can see these are all bunched up little French knots. And this one I scattered around these petals here, kind of in and out of the petals. Like I would do one down in the middle of the petal and then come out to the tip and do one. So I did that kind of back and forth on that one. So that is what I did. And I used just the green embroidery floss and the yellow. And I had pulled out another one in case I wanted to do another one. This piece of sheet right here, and this is the lace I had used on this one. And then I have some pink and green, like these are two different shades of green that I could use with this pretty sheet fabric. I think that would be pretty too. So that's another one I might do. If I want to sit down, maybe watching TV this week, I will at night. I will, you know, maybe do another one. See how that comes out. If I do, I'll show you next on my next challenge. And I'll show you this one, how I sew around the edges and show you how that comes out. But here's the back. See, now there's writing room. And when I do the stitching, see, this will be nice. I'm going to go right on the edges here, I guess, and just kind of, it'll be nice and flat, and it'll be, if I ever wanted to put it in a pocket or something in a journal, it would be kind of nice and flat with it being sewn down around the edges like that. And I wanted to show you, I like to kind of, you know, I like to organize, and so I want to show you how I keep my embroidery floss and these things here. So this is all my embroidery floss, believe it or not, right here, that I really kind of had. And then I found, like, these were just odds and ends embroidery flosses that I found in other bags of little notions that I bought at a thrift store. And so, you know, whenever there would be like a little bit of embroidery floss, I just throw it in this bag here. These are little rickracs here, but this is how, and oh, I found these recently at a thrift store. They were in a bag of other notions that I wanted, and I just, you know, it had the embroidery floss in there. So whenever I find embroidery floss, I put it in here. And so this is like a little, I don't know what this was originally. You can see there's a little, let's see. See, it's just a little something here, a little dent. It's like it has a slot there that air could get in, and the hinge is here. And I found this metal, it's a metal box. I like metal boxes, and I found this at a thrift store. And it had this little divider in it, so I put all my little, all this I got at a thrift store, and it's all my little seam binding and all that rickrack and kind of stuff like that on these little, you know, all this stuff that you get, you know, at a thrift store or whatever, you know, estate sales and things. So whenever I get those, I put them in here. You can see they fit in here perfectly. And so, yeah, I just threw this little bag of rickrack, extra kind of cut-offs, and my embroidery floss in here. And I like really organizing in kind of random stuff like this that I see at a thrift store. I was like, that's a really cool box, you know, a metal box. And so when I was organizing my craft room, I, you know, had that in mind to use it. I didn't know I was going to put rickrack and all that in here, but I just, you know, found it found that it fit in there perfectly, and I labeled it. It sits over on my shelf with this label to the front. I mean, I know what's in here, but I put a little label on everything, seam binding and floss there. So I just wanted to show you that because I like to, you know, I like to organize and share my organizational things that I have in my craft room. Oh, and recently I found this too. I think I've showed it to you before, but I recently found this at a thrift store. And it's all, I need to use this in one of my challenges one week, but I guess this is embroidery floss, but it's like fluff. I called it before when I showed you. It's kind of got ridges on it, so I'm calling it fluffy embroidery floss. I have no idea what it really is called, but it's not straight and smooth like this. It's fluffy. So one week I'll have to use this. I looked at using it this week, and I was really looking for some white to see if I had any white maybe to use on here, but I didn't. There's you know, kind of like beiges, different beiges in here, but no white. So I just ended up using the green and gold. So this is, you know, I did, you know, learn on this the pistil stitch, and you know, I think it came out pretty for, you know, my first time doing the pistil stitch, and then my reminder of the French knots. So I hope you enjoyed, and whoops, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching tonight, and I'll happy crafting.